Good evening, everybody. Elder Matthew Best here. I've got another word for our young people today. So grateful that you chose to stop by our Facebook page to check this out. I'm hoping that this one today will be a special one. And again, I'm so grateful to all the parents and all the young people that we have at Children of God Ministries. We absolutely love you. We care about you, and we want nothing but the best for you. So I just have a short word today, but I just want to give it to you because I think it's important for you to know. I think it's important to hear. I think it's important for us to say as much as we can say it. Every single one of you are valuable to God, okay? I need you to know that you are valuable to God. I need you to know that partially because we live in a country, we live in a world where we don't always get to feel valued, right? Especially for those of us, unfortunately, that are young black people. We don't always feel valued. You're probably seeing stuff on the news. You're probably hearing people talk about stuff at school. You're probably hearing your parents talk about it. You may see things in the paper that have talked about a lot of the really horrible things that have gone on in the country, especially in this week. And I need you to understand that no matter what you see, no matter what you hear, no matter what you read, no matter what anybody says to you, you are valuable to God and you are valuable to us here at this church, okay? I need you to know that. Why does that matter? It matters because when you don't think that your life has value, when you don't believe that your life has meaning, when you don't think that anybody cares, it can be really easy to make decisions as if nobody cares about us. It can be really easy to make decisions as if my life doesn't really have value, so it doesn't matter what I do, it doesn't matter what I say, it doesn't matter where I go. I need you to understand again that that is not true, that your life has meaning, your life has value. Here's how I know that your life has value. The first thing is this. It's very, very simple. I need you to understand that you, every single one of you hearing my voice, that you were created in the image of God. Now, if you've been in my Sunday school class before for a few years, you probably heard me talk about this, but I want to say this clearly so that you understand it, okay? God made everything in this world. We all agree on that, right? If you read the book of Genesis, we talk about God speaking things into existence. God made every single thing in this earth, in this planet, in this universe. Everything that was made, God made it and he spoke it into being. That's a lot of stuff. That's a whole lot of stuff. That's planets and stars and all kinds of stuff. But here's what I also need you to understand. Of all the things, of all the stuff, of all the people that God made, humans, people, everyone like me and you, we're the only things that were made in God's image, okay? Here's why that matters. When God looks at a tree, he just sees a tree. He sees something he created. He sees something he's made. When God looks at a rock or looks at a mountain or looks at a tiger or looks at anything else, he sees what he made. But when God looks at you, he sees himself because you, just like all of us, were made in God's image, okay? I want you to think about that. You may say, that's crazy. It's hard to wrap my brain around. It's hard to even understand. And sometimes it's hard for me to understand. But I have to remind myself that when God sees me, he sees himself because people are the only things that God created that were made in his image. We look like him, okay? So again, how do I know that your life is valuable? Your life is valuable because God created you and because you look like him. What that also means is that everybody else that God created looks like him, and we were all made in the image of God. That's why when you hear stories about racism, when you hear stories about injustice, when you hear stories about people hurting other people or saying nasty things or doing things or being unfair to people based on the color of their skin or based on what they look like or based on where they live or what language they speak, that's really, really unfortunate because God has said that all of us are created in his image. So when I see another person, I'm supposed to treat them like I would want to treat somebody else that looks like God, okay? I want you to hold on to that. We were made in the image of God. We reflect him and we look like him. Here's another way that I want to remind you and just help encourage you that you are valuable, okay? I want to take you to Psalms 139. There's 150 different Psalms that are written in our collection of Psalms that we have in our Bible in the Old Testament. I want to take you to Psalms 139. This is one of the Psalms that King David wrote. And a psalm was just a song or a poem or an expression right? And so David wrote a lot of these. But I want to take you to Psalm 139, verse 13, where this is what he says about God. This is David describing God. He says, "For you created my inmost being. You knit me together in my mother's womb." What that means is that God created each and every one of us. David is acknowledging, he's saying, God, you created me, and you did it. You created even the deepest parts of me, even the stuff that's deep down on the inside that nobody else sees, that only we know about. God created even that part of us. But he also says, you knew me before I was even born. God knew you. He carefully crafted you. He made you unique. He made you special. He didn't make anybody else like you, so that you were different and unique even when you were in your mama's belly before you were even born, okay? Then he says, God, I praise you because I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Your works are wonderful. I know that full well. He says, God, you don't make anything that's halfway. You make things that are only excellent. You make the best. You make the most beautiful. You make the greatest. And if you made me, then that means that I was well made, because you make everything well. Okay? You make only wonderful things. And so each and every one of us that is born, God created us and he made us wonderful. Okay? Again, you have value because you were made in the image of God, and you have value because God made you wonderful. Okay? God made you wonderful. God made only one version of you. There's only one of you. Even if you're a twin, even twins are different, right? So God made only one of you. You are special. You have value. It's time for you to live your life like your life means something, okay? It's time for us to treat people like their life means something. It's time for us to understand that our life is valuable and that we matter to God, okay? Each and every one of you young people, that's all I wanted to say to you this week. That's all I wanted to say to you. I wanted to remind you that your life matters. I wanted to remind you that God cares about you. I wanted to remind you that you are beautiful and wonderful, and you were made in the image of God. And if we love God and we know that God is amazing, then that means that you look like him. Remember that. Don't settle for people treating you less than you deserve. Don't settle for people treating you like you are not worth anything. Don't settle for people calling you out of your name. Don't settle for any of that, because you have value. Okay? If you don't hear anything else from me, I need you to hear and understand you have value. God loves you. God made you wonderful. He made you unique. He made you special. And that means that you matter. Your life matters. Well, I love you all. Hopefully I'll get to see you all soon. I miss you terribly. Just remember, your life matters to God. Okay?